Next up, at UFC Orlando, we have Michael Johnson taking on Marc Diakiese. Michael Johnson, 20-18 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off 2 impressive grappling performances, and he's taking on Marc Diakiese, 16-5 overall, Oh, I've got those backwards. Got those backwards.
What backwards?
I said Michael Johnson's coming off 2 impressive grappling performances, but it's Marc Diakiese coming off 2 impressive grappling performances.
I thought you said Mark.
No, I did it backwards. Anyway, Michael Johnson is 1-4 in his last 5, coming off a split decision loss to Jamie Mullarkey. Marc Diakiese is 3-2 in his last 5, coming off a couple of impressive grappling performances, which is interesting because he's not a grappler. He's a kickboxer, a very good kickboxer at that, but he's become a wrestler. His last 2 fights, he has had 19 takedowns. 19 takedowns in his last 2 fights with 26 minutes of overall control
Sounds like
time.
me at a bar on a Friday night.
When's the last time, Jacob, when's the last time you went to a bar? This is the problem. This is what you do, and people think that's who you are. But
yeah, hairy like animal.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Anyway, what was that? Oh, Jesus Christ. Sometimes we do these shows and I'm like, what am I doing? Who am I hanging out with? What am I doing?
This show has gone to shit.
The picks are fire and the bets are unbelievable, but yeah,
holy shit. Speaking of, never mind. We got Mystery Science Gaming 3000.
$50 super chat from Mystery Science Gaming 3000. Thanks for the time you guys put into this. Well, we appreciate it. We were just talking about Jacob taking down chicks at the bar. Hopefully that counts.
That buys
hopefully
a couple
that
years.
counts. Thank you very much. This is genuinely appreciated. Very generous of you. So back to the breakdown. Marc is a kickboxer who has become a wrestler. An effective wrestler at that. I mentioned 19 takedowns in his last 2 fights, 26 minutes of control time, that's in and of itself is a very impressive number. And if you mix that with his striking, he's a pretty dangerous guy. Michael Johnson's he's a tried and true vet at this point. He's a well-rounded guy. And yes, he's 3-2 in his last 5. He's got 18 losses. But the reality is these losses are to top-notch people. Beneil Dariush,
like
Nate Diaz, Khabib, Justin Gaethje. That loss to Jamie Mullarkey, a lot of people think he won. That was short notice and a split.
Like Miles Jury and Reza Madidi.
Miles Jury was good.
And Paul Sass and Jonathan Brookins and James Krause and Eric Marriott and Ted Worthington and Joe Brammer.
You're just reading all 18 of these. Anyway, Michael Johnson's a well-rounded guy, decent everywhere, mostly a striker. But I do think Marc Diakiese wins this fight. And I think he's going to use the wrestling. We've seen him use the wrestling in his last 2 fights. That's not who he is over his first, 16 plus 5? 21. Over his first 19 fights, he was not a wrestler. He is now a wrestler in his last 2. I did that fast.
No, it was
he's
quick.
now he's now a wrestler.
You asked it, and I had already opened up Excel. I was like, equals sum.
You should see me at the casino. Like Rain Man doing the blackjack numbers. I don't need them to say the numbers out loud. I got from Connecticut. Of course I've been to the casino.
You've never been to a casino. No. You've never taken over a casino like me, I'll tell you that. Not in your cheetah print. I rock a cheetah print sweater, and I've rocked that shit.
Yeah, you go to Vegas, and you're like, look at me, Joey Cool. Oh, look at me, I have a fanny pack.
I wear matching cheetah print sweaters with my best friend, and we walk through Vegas, and we get compliments left and right. Oh, my God, you guys are so cute. And we're like, oh, my God, thank you.
Yeah, no, that absolutely 100%.
You want to come back to our room and party?
I think, did you go back to any rooms and party, Jacob?
I went back to my room, and I partied.
Marc Diakiese, I think he gets this done. I think he will use the wrestling. He is a very good striker, though, and if he wrestles early and gets Michael Johnson thinking he's in a wrestling match, and then he comes out with the strikes, he could actually put Michael Johnson away. So I do like Marc Diakiese to get this win, and the wrestling has just made him a more complete fighter, even though he's been getting booed like crazy. What do you think?
Yeah, eventually Marc is going to have to go back to the striking because he's not going to be able to out-wrestle everyone to a title, I wouldn't think, especially not in the 155 division. But this is probably still a matchup where he can still use his wrestling and win. Because if you watch Michael Johnson, yes, he is probably better than his 2018. It does have pretty good takedown defense. But you go to that Clay Guida fight a few fights ago. Clay Guida was able to get 2 singles, get on his leg. He defended a few of them, but end up on his back. If Marc can get to those same positions, I mean, it's game over. He's much stronger, much more explosive than Clay Guida, has much better control than Clay Guida once he gets you on the ground and he stays on top to keep you there. So I think that Clay Guida fight was a big red flag going into this fight. Marc's going to see that. Oh, I can get to those positions. And if I do, I can get him to the ground and I control him. We'll see if the boos maybe get to him. Live crowd. Maybe he realizes that people are starting to hate him, and if people hate you and people think you're boring, you're not going to get the big fights. That's just the way the UFC works. So maybe he comes out and tries to strike, and something happens. But if he wrestles, it should be an easy peasy lemon win.
Okay, I mean we're both on the Marc side here. We're both on the Marc side. Michael Johnson is better than his record. He's had a tough slate. He's had some gym issues. I mean, his coach died on him, bouncing around. But I do think Marc Diakiese gets this done, as do most people, hence the odds. I'm not throwing him in Monkey Night or in DraftKings, though. Even though with the wrestling, he could very well be worth it, right? He can get those takedowns, get the control. But I trust the JSP more than I trust the Marc Diakiese.
I mean, that's Vegas right there. It doesn't get more Vegas than that. You see that cheetah print?
You hung out with no women, did nothing cool. You drank mimosas with a fanny pack and sunglasses indoors.
You know how much money was in that fanny pack? At least $200.
How many mimosas did you have?
Not mimosas. I didn't drink a whole lot there, but I was
screwdrivers.
No, I didn't. Last time I was there, wasn't a lot of drinking.
No, you literally were bragging about drinking some stupid ass. It was vodka and orange juice. It was a screwdriver.
No, that was a few years ago. Last year was not a lot of drinking.
Okay, Jesus Christ.
But we did meet Dana White.
Yep, you sent that picture. Congratulations on all your success. What do you think of DraftKings? Marc could be worth it, but I think there's other people at that price point I trust a little more.
Oh, DraftKings? I thought you were saying Monkey Knife Fight. DraftKings, yeah, I think it's very good value, $9,200.
Yeah, potentially. Now everybody thinks you're a cokehead. By the way, congratulations on that.
Coke, it's more natural, I would say.
Stop with the sex bite. That's such a weird. That's so weird. Anyway, Monkey Knife Fight strike line 48-67. Man, that's another tough line. It might be a more because Michael let his hands go and Marc will strike in the grappling exchanges, but that's a tricky line. What do you think?
I think it's less.
Could be. This comment's pretty funny. I'm not going to pin it, but it's a pretty funny comment.
Angelo's moist. Yeah. I agree.
Yep, that one. Anyway, weonpicks.com/bets. Sign up with any one of our betting partners. If you make a deposit using our link, we'll send you $50 as a thank you. Weonpicks.com/bets. Holidays are coming. Everybody could use $50. Sign up, make a deposit. We'll take care of you.